This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 4th day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Getting 503.34 marks out of the total 504.24, Success Elementary School student Alicia Skeller has emerged as the top performing student at this year's National Grade 6 Assessment Examinations. The results were released this morning by the Ministry of Education. The top student, who is already on vacation, was represented at the presentation of the results by a relative. She will begin her high school life at Queen's College in September. Meanwhile, Kaya Daniels of Green Acres Primary came in second with 503.27 marks, and Lucas Spooner of Mays on the 12 secured the third position with 502.44 marks. In total, 197 students have gained places at Queen's College. Education Minister Priya Manik-Chand offered congratulations to all of this year's NGSA students, and she said she is pleased with their performance. The Education Minister said investments in the education sector are paying off.
I was very pleased to see that we are finally appear to be, and fingers are crossed, climbing out of the COVID hardship that we had, and that really hit us in the education sector very, very hard, as it did countries around the world. And we're finally seeing results that show that we have taken some good, sound decisions, even at the time when we ourselves didn't know if they were right, because we hadn't had that COVID experience before, and that our investments of textbooks and breakfast and more trained teachers and resources that allow for distance learning, like the Learning Channel, EduFM, worksheets, the websites, QuizMe, that those are paying dividends in students and pupils who ordinarily are not present at these kinds of ceremonies because they didn't have the same resources that private school type children would have.
15,285 students wrote this year's examinations and were tested in the areas of mathematics, science, social studies, and English language. One of the top performers, Kaya Daniels, who intends to focus on her writing and science skills in high school, said she is overwhelmed with her good performance.
I want to be a scientist and to reach my goal to go to Queen's College and go in the top 10 of the country. I had to study for long hours, and I used sources such as Guyana Learning Channel, QuizMe, and the education website.
And her mother said the journey was not an easy one, but Danielle stuck to the task. She noted that while preparing for the NGSA exams, her daughter wrote her first book called A Game of Friendship. Meanwhile, Lucas Spooner of the Mace on the 12 school was more than elated with his results.
It feels great to be the top of my school, Mace Primary Schools, and third place in the country. I was very confident about the exam. I was very confident about it, and I knew that I was going to be here.
You put in a lot of hard work to work with that.
Yes, I woke up. I used to wake up 4:30 a.m. in the mornings and go to bed at 9 and doing classes.
He said in preparation for this year's exams, he not only studied but attended many hours of lessons. Another top performer, Skylar Gopal, who was awarded the best essay, said the feeling to be among the country's top performers is surreal.
I'm feeling ecstatic. It's like it's not real. Like it's a dream.
3 candidates shared the 5th position with 502.33 marks each. They are Jayan Kisoon of Marion Academy, Kaylee Ramatar of Academy of Excellence, and Yuan Shen of the Canadian School of Arts and Science. Meanwhile, the 8th position was secured by Adam Rahman of Mace on the 12 with 502.32 marks, while Sophia Miranda of Success Elementary gained the 9th spot with 502.30 marks, and Abigail Manohar, also of Success, gained the 10th position with 502.27 marks. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you are 18 years or over by June 30, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all the registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Monday, the 22nd of July, 2024. For more information, contact GECOM on 2250-278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
The National Grade 6 Assessment Examinations are set, administered, and marked by the Caribbean Examinations Council. The Director of Operations of the Exam Services at CXC, Dr. Nicole Manning, said Guyana recorded significant improvements in English language, mathematics, and social studies at this year's exams. She said, however, that the country performance in science dipped this year, as she presented a statistical analysis of the students' performances in the four core subject areas. In English language, 66.79% of the more than 15,000 students who wrote the exams achieved 50% and above, marking a significant improvement when compared to the previous year.
For English, we saw an overall increase in terms of the percentage candidates earning 50% and above. This, of course, is the highest over the last 5 years. So let me say congratulations to the team. And I want us, when we're clapping, to understand congratulations are to the students, of course, the teachers that prepare these students, and the parents. All those guardians, yes, very important. The community influence, that's very critical.
Last year, 64.47% of the students who took the exam achieved 50%, while in 2020, 61.22% of the students gained 50% and above in English. Dr. Manning said the number of children who received 0 in the exams declined this year, while more candidates received full scores. When compared to the past 4 years, the country also performed exceptionally well in social studies, with 62.88% of the students getting 50% and more.
Consistent with English, social studies, we had a whopping, 62. What's happening there now? Let's go again. Great. A whopping 62.88% receiving over 50%. So you can see it's not only a marginal increase, but a very good increase versus what would have been there in previous years. Phenomenal for us is this great increase of the number of candidates receiving full marks for social studies this year, moving from 17 to 52 worthy of an applaud. And a reduction in the number of candidates receiving 0, always very important.
In science, the number of students receiving 50% and above slightly decreased, but the performances in mathematics were good.
Now, pleasing for us is the increase for mathematics. And this is important, not only to Guyana, but to CXC, because it is something that as a region we struggle with. And so it's important to see this 40.36%, over 40% receiving, earning 50% and above. And this is the highest over the last 5 years.
The Caribbean Examinations Council manages the NGSA exams here in Guyana as part of the efforts by the Education Ministry to improve the quality of all national primary grade assessments.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you became 18 years or over by June 30th, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change or correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GECOM registration offices will be open Mondays to Fridays from 8 hours to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 hours to 14 hours. For further information, contact GECOM at 225-027-829, 226-655-78 or 9, 223-9650, or visit our website at www.gecom.org.gy.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Buster, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you became 18 years or over by June 30th, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Monday, 15 July 2024 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For further information, contact GECOM at 225-027829, 226-65578 or 9, 223-9650, or visit our website at www.gecom.org.gy.
Vice President Bara Jagdeo today hinted at a possible investigation into what he considers a historical conflict of interest relationship between ExxonMobil Guyana and recently elected leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes. The Hughes Fields and Stobie law firm, of which the recently elected AFC leader serves as a senior partner, is one of the companies contracted by the oil company to provide legal services. At a press conference from his Freedom House party headquarters today, the vice president said the issue is beyond a client and company relationship.
Now that we're looking at this will cause us, let me make it clear. So Exxon has a lot to answer, because Nigel Hughes, knowing him, he will not want to resign. He is like that. He want to collect the money and still be leader of the AFC. And a conflict of interest would not bother him at all.
Hughes has been deemed a politically exposed person based on the laws of Guyana. The attorney has already declared that should he be elected to office as president or occupy any other positions of responsibility, he would end his relationship with the company. The vice president said now that Hughes is the leader of a political party, his business relations with the oil company must come under scrutiny.
But we are watching what Exxon and the others will do, and the first-tier contractors. And this may necessitate a formal, depending on how that matters, a formal investigation into all these matters. I'm making it clear today. I'm making it clear. We did not, there are lots of politically exposed people. He was politically exposed, as he correctly pointed out. His wife is a member of parliament. And therefore, but we did not, it was not an issue, because we didn't want to. He would have said, oh, we're discriminating against Nigel Hughes. We're saying now, why couldn't he earn a living? That's their first thing, earn a living in Guyana. Well, all along he was doing this. What changed is now he has gone to the AFC. I think it's the best thing for us that he is the leader of the AFC.
Although Nigel Hughes is now the leader of the Alliance for Change, he previously served as the chairman of the same party and has been involved in politics for a number of years. Well, noting the concerns expressed by the business owners and residents of Bush Lot who were affected by Monday's fire, which claimed the life of a businessman and gutted several businesses, the Guyana Fire Service, in a second statement on the tragedy, admitted that issues with some of the fire hoses and delays in accessing an open water source hindered the fire service's ability to effectively contain the blaze and protect the businesses and properties that have been impacted. In a statement this afternoon, the Guyana Fire Service noted that while there are 2 fire hydrants in the area, only one was accessible. The valves for the other hydrant were completely covered by mud, hindering its accessibility. The fire service also noted that with a power outage in the area at the time of the blaze, which affected the water company, the water pressure from the one working hydrant was insufficient. And while admitting to some shortcomings, the fire service refuted claims of the fire tenders arriving late. It noted that the first fire tender arrived at the scene within 10 minutes of the first emergency call. The other 2 tenders, which were sourced from New Amsterdam and Mahaica, arrived more than 1 hour after that initial call. It was further explained that owing to the magnitude of the blaze, when firefighters arrived at the scene, they opted to access a nearby open water source to facilitate continuous firefighting. A relay system was set up between the tenders using light pumps which access water from nearby trenches. The fire service said its response involved 3 tenders and an ambulance, along with 16 firefighters and 3 emergency medical technicians. It was also noted that a thorough review of the operations, along with the equipment used and the operational protocols, is being carried out. The fire service said it understands and regrets the significant impact that the fire has had on the bushland community in Berbice, and it renews its call for citizens to equip their homes and businesses with smoke detectors, fire alarms, and fire extinguishers. The fire service is also encouraging persons to consider fire insurance. The statement from the Guyana Fire Service came hours after Opposition Member of Parliament for the Region 5 community, Vince Roy Jordan, expressed concern about the fire service's response to the blaze that gutted a number of buildings, leaving several businesses completely demolished.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you are 18 years or over by June 30, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not in the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person whose information on the PLE is incorrect can apply for such information to be changed or corrected. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the relevant original source document, birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, marriage certificate and ID card for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of those transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Monday, July 15, 2024. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors.
bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Hurricane Beryl steamed towards the Cayman Islands and Mexico on Thursday after trashing Jamaica with intense wind and rain, causing floods and power outages after forging a destructive path across smaller Caribbean islands over the past couple of days. Reuters, in a report, said the death toll from the powerful Category 4 hurricane climbed to at least 10 across the region and is widely expected to rise further as communications return on islands damaged by flooding and deadly winds. As Beryl moved away from Jamaica early on Thursday, the island discontinued its hurricane warning but kept a flash flood watch, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica said on X. By late Wednesday, the storm's eye was about 100 miles west of Kingston, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, as its core headed toward the Cayman Islands, packing maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. Beryl was expected to dump 4 to 6 inches of rain on the Cayman Islands into Thursday, where a hurricane warning was in effect and life-threatening surf and rip currents were possible, NHC said. A hurricane warning was also enforced for the eastern coast of Mexico Yucatan Peninsula. Cuba is building a radar site likely to be capable of spying on the United States nearby Guantanamo Bay Naval Base, a Washington think tank found using satellite images, the latest upgrade to the country's surveillance capabilities long thought to be linked to China, according to Reuters. The base, under construction since 2021 but previously not publicly reported, is east of the city of Santiago de Cuba, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, said in a report published on Monday and later referenced by the Wall Street Journal. Cuban Vice Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Cosio denied that Cuba was harboring Chinese military interests on the island. Cuba's proximity to the U.S. and its southern military bases makes it a good location for China, Washington's top strategic rival, to seek to collect signal intelligence. CSIS called the new site a powerful tool that, once operational, will be able to monitor air and maritime activity of the U.S. military. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Joe Biden has admitted he screwed up in last week's debate against Donald Trump, but has vowed to fight on in the election race and move to reassure key allies. He told a local radio station he made a mistake with his stumbling performance, but urged voters to instead judge him on his time in the White House. On Wednesday, as reports suggested he was weighing his future, he worked to calm senior Democrats, including state governors and campaign staff. Mr. Biden was joined on the call by Vice President Kamala Harris, who reiterated her support. Speculation has mounted over whether she could replace the president as the party's candidate ahead of the November election. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.